ní torí bá ń fọ́ mi ìsọ̀fọ́ òun fún mi lóògùn dókítà wa jẹ́ kí mi ó ní kí n mọ́ fà wàhálà kankan ó gbọ́n tí bá ti ń fẹ́ kí n mọ́ sọ fóun wọn á dẹ̀wọ̀ ńjọ́ kan nígbà tó di bí aago 8 alẹ́ èrò ìfowó fún mi náà bẹ́ẹ̀ àpò mo ní wá olóúnjẹ tó pé fún mi wálẹ̀ pé yẹn ò dáa wọ́n lọ sí ló ti bá fẹ́ kí n mọ́ sọ ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo ní mo ti wá pè yàwó mi pé kọ́ bá mi ro àmàlà tó dáa nígbèkiri bí ọdún ọba jẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó a jẹ ó ní kò sí wa lórí kí ní kọ́ mọ́ gbèrò lóru wọn bá gbọ́ kàrún gbogbo ẹ̀rí ó lọ sílẹ̀kùn ó tó tóbi ọ̀sẹ̀ kan mo ní wà bí tí mo mọ̀ wà yẹn aago 7 lẹ́ máa ń tì mí n fẹ́ ká mọ̀ tì mí bẹ́ẹ̀ la aago 7 mo fẹ́ mọ̀ wà ń bẹ̀ kí n gbà tẹ́kùn dáadáa bí aago 3 o ó ní kò sí wàhálà ó tó fún mi lẹ̀ ó lè mi nìkan kí n mọ̀ ṣe ló ń tọ́ bá ti di láàárọ̀ kí n mọ̀ pé òun àjọmọ̀ ayò àjọmọ̀ wo bọ́ọ̀lù ẹ wo títóbi Ọlọ́run bá ẹ wo àdúrà àwọn ìyá mi gbogbo àwọn ìyá Fásakí ń gbà yẹn wọ́n á pe gbogbo àwọn ọmọdé Fásakí yẹn wọ́n náà wọ́n dákẹ́ àdúrà níra àwọn Ọlọ́run gbà sí so kíní yẹn wá mú mi débi pé mo rí pé bọ́lọ̀ ṣe dà mí ni mi ò ní àbámọ̀ pé mo ṣe Yorùbá nìsan so gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ dúró tì mí jù lẹ́yìn aráàlú Èkó Ọlọ́run bá mi dúró ti gbogbo yín Ọlọ́run ní fi yín lẹ̀ ẹ̀ ní dààmú láyé gbogbo nǹkan yín lójú ayé kò ní bàjẹ́ lójú yín gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tẹ́ bí yóò jẹ́ yẹn ẹ̀ ní sùúrù ẹ̀ kiri òkòdélé gbogbo èròǹgbà wa lórí pé tẹ́yìn dà fún ẹ̀ ni pé bílù wa bá da kò sí náà ṣe ń bíbá ọlá bílù wa da àfi wà ń bíbá yìí Ọlọ́run bá tọ́ wa ní àánú rẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run bá tọ́ láàánú lọ́dọ̀ èyí tá a lọ sí lánàá yẹn abẹ́lọ́hùn tì í ni mo sì mọ̀ bọ́lọ́hùn máa dá wa lóhùn lórí ẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ti dá wa lóhùn pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run àtìlẹ́yìn àwọn tọ́lọ́ ń pèlè ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ọdún yìí tó parí àárí ànúgbà lórí gbogbo alágbára ayé tí ó dúró ti wà láàfi rí ànúgbà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá wa ẹ̀ láàfi rí ànúgbà Ọlọ́run gbé dìde sí wa so mo á rọ yìí bàbá mi mọ̀mọ́ mi ọmọ ìjọba rẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣera wa lọ́kàn Ọlọ́run ní pààyàn rẹ̀ tọmọtọmọ Ọlọ́run ní pààyàn rẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tẹ́ ẹ bí láṣẹ Ọlọ́run ẹ jẹ wọn àtọkùnrin àtọkùnrin tẹ́ ẹ ní ẹ ṣe wàhálà tẹ́ bí tẹ́ tó wá ṣe wàhálà lórí wọn pé alójú ọ̀gbọ̀dọ̀ tì mí ojú ò ní tì lórí àwọn láéláé ojú ò ní tì lórí àwọn láéláé wọ́n fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ àwa lọ́kàn ẹ jẹ́ kí a padà sí bá a ṣe ń bọ̀ Yorùbá nìṣẹ́ ní ọ̀nà kò fi Ọlọ́run búra fún yín Yorùbá nìṣẹ́ ó dàbí àwàdà lójú àwọn yìí èyí sàwàdà nǹkan tá a máa gbà ni Ọlọ́run tó ní mímọ̀ máa gbà Yorùbá ó gbòmìnira orí bóun ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ Nàìjíríà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ òmìnira ọ̀ṣẹlẹ̀ irú ẹ̀ ọ̀ṣẹlẹ̀ rí káwọn Yorùbá kan dìde mọ́ spark báyìí pé sẹ́ẹ̀ ọwọ́ ẹwú gbogbo àgbáyé náà ti gbọ́ pé Yorùbá fẹ́ lọ ìwà sí Yorùbá nìkan Ìgbò fẹ́ lọ mẹ́ta ni wọ́n pè wá wọ́n ní wàsóbìà Yorùbá Haúsá Ìgbò àbí Ìgbò lòun ń lọ Yorùbá lòun ń lọ àwọn aláwọ̀ ilẹ̀ Haúsá afẹ́ dánwò tó mo afẹ́ dánwò tó mo afẹ́ dánwò tó mo bẹ̀. afẹ́ dánwò tó mo bẹ̀ afẹ́ dánwò tó mo bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run lọ́dún màrí mọ́ ọ̀nà ní rí pé nǹkan tí Ọlọ́run bá ṣe ni mo máa ń dúró tì Ọlọ́run bá ti ṣe nǹkan lẹ̀ tán tó ṣe tán àwa fi mi sọ́nà yẹn ìdúró bí báyìí mọ̀mọ́ mi kàn bẹ̀ mọ̀mọ́ mi bẹ̀ ní títí kótó kú mo ní mọ̀ mi bí ní padà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá ní sẹ́ gbà tó dé stage kan àwọn ìyàwó méjèèjì ni àwọn máa yọ orúkọ mi kó nínú sọ́ọ̀nì ìmọ̀ àwọn dẹ̀ máa sọ fún àwọn ọmọ àwọn pé èyí orúkọ Adéyẹmọ kò ń bẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ búlọ́ọ̀kù mi òun búlọ́ọ̀kù mi ìyáálé rẹ̀ náà búlọ́ọ̀kù mi Canada mo wá fi kù sójú wá gbé Bíbélì mi sọ́dọ̀ wọn ní Olúwa ní olùṣọ́ àgùntàn mi kì í ṣe aláìní nígbà tí ẹbí àti ọ̀rẹ́ bá kọ̀ mí sílẹ̀ mo nígbàgbọ́ pé Olúwa ń bẹ pẹ̀lú mi bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ká Báíbù sí wọn lọ́rùn mo sójú nígbà tó di òru ìyàwó lọ́kọ́kọ́ pẹ̀lú pé bẹ́ẹ̀ sì mo dẹ́rù báyìí mo ti ní kíni olóòtú lọ́sẹ̀ àníkẹ́ kó ní kíní ẹ̀fẹ́ pa ẹ̀sìn ẹ̀fẹ́ pa ẹ̀jẹ̀ kọ́kẹ́ mo ti ní bíbí ọmọ ìjà tí mo ń jà ọba mọ̀ ní òde blọọkù tó lè lọ tó síbi fúnra rẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ ọ̀la àwọn ọmọ mi ṣe pàtàkì bàbá mi ò ní ìran mẹ́ta ìtòsí ó ní kí ìyàwó jìyà kí bàbá ó jìyà kọ́ ọmọ tó gbé ó ní kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ní àwa jìyà lórí ìyà táwọn bàbá wa jẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ̀sìn kékeré Yorùbá léèrè kún tó pé wa ní àwa tí ń jẹ́ Yorùbá Ọlọ́run tó ṣe wá bẹ́ẹ̀ tó dá wa nínú Yorùbá èyí sì pé kò fẹ́ràn wa nígbà mi ti bá jókòó àwọn Ọlọ́run fẹ́ràn àwa Yorùbá ni màá tó wá rí pé àwa Yorùbá nílé ìkó àlépo nílé ọ̀rẹ́ gbogbo nǹkan ní gòdì àlékùsà kùsà làwọn bá wa ń tà tí wọ́n fi ń jẹun tí wọ́n yẹn àwa Yorùbá lọ́lọ́dẹ̀ fún kùsà tí bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí lẹ́wọ̀n lè wà tán ní 500 years kò lè wà tán Ọlọ́run fẹ́ràn wọ́n dá wa nínú tó dáa àwọn tó wá jó lórí wa àwọn náà fi ìyà jẹ wa mo dẹ̀ ti nígbàgbọ́ pé pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run láìpẹ́ á rí àwọn nǹkan tí ó dìde tán bá gbogbo wọn ex-president ni o ex-governor àtàwọn tí ń ṣèjọba lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ wọ́n bá pè wọ́n síbi tí wọ́n bá já wọn sínú òkú pa wọ́n sì pọ̀ kù ìgbà ká gbọ́dọ̀ ní ẹjọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n àmì ni o kí sì lẹ́yìn wọ́n dà wọ́n sínú omi wọ́n lè mọ kúkú òjijì ìgbà tí mo wà nù prison ẹ̀wọ̀ ọba tó kú ni nígbà tí wọ́n bẹ̀rù pé dá sọ́rọ̀ gùn ọ̀dá ẹ̀wọ̀ ọba tó jáde láyé lójijì ni èyí ò rí pé gbogbo àwọn tí ń fi àjẹ wá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá yẹn ikú òjijì ọ̀pá gbogbo láìpẹ́ gbogbo àwọn tí ò jẹ́ anísìn ní Nàìjíríà àfi tí Yorùbá fi sọ pé dandan àwọn ń lọ ikú òjijì ọ̀pá gbogbo àtàwọn tó ń jọ ń jẹ ikú òjijì ní ọ̀pá gbogbo nígbà tábà wá gbé orílẹ̀-èdè tiwa tá a dádó ẹ̀rí wípé ẹ̀ńtà bá fi ṣe pírẹsidẹ́ǹtì wọ́n ẹ gbé 500,000 lówó rẹ̀ ọba amújú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ á ní kàdájọ́ fún lẹ́wọ̀n péré mo ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lù tá a wà yín nìyẹn ìlú yìí prime minister lè gbé sáà fún òṣèlú mú ẹ̀kú oṣù ní gbà president Germany kan ó ṣe president ọ̀rẹ́ rẹ̀ wá pé pé ó ti di president 400,000 euro tí mo yá ọkọ̀ tó di pẹ́ ó mi dà ó dẹ̀ lóhùn òṣèlú ọ̀rẹ́ rẹ̀ sáà ó ní kí ni mo ṣe kàn sí nǹkan mẹ́ owó oṣù lòún gbà ó lóhùn òṣèlú ní káwé mi wá gbàdé kó ṣe mọ́ president Germany Angela Merkel àtọkọ rẹ̀ ó lè lọ street ọmọ kékeré kan wá kí wàá dánwò ẹ̀ lóhùn òun wá lọ kóòtù pé mo kí president ní àná ọ̀dà mi lóhùn adájọ́ wa ní kó lọ sínú pépà ó lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó sì sọ́ọ̀rì ẹ̀ president Nàìjíríà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀wọ̀n lè yóò kù sí Ọlọ́run níjọ́ bàjẹ́ fún yín sọ yín bàbá mi yẹn mọ̀mọ́ mi ẹja ṣẹra wa lọ́kàn àjọ wà papọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká dà sí bá a ṣe ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ olùkọ́ àti fẹ́ débi tí a lọ ẹsẹ̀ mọ̀ tó gbẹ̀yìn.
ẹ ṣe sà. From the owner of the holder láti ẹnu ẹni tó ní ṣẹ́wọ̀n láti ẹnu ẹni tó ní ṣẹ́wọ̀n. Wọ́n lè bá wa ṣàlàyé tán sọ àwa ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá gé àkàrà yẹn tó tá bá ní ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí dákàrà ibi làwa sàn máa máa ya fọ́tò ni o gbogbo wa máa máa ya fọ́tò lóríṣiríṣi ni o tẹ bá ń gbọ́ Gbẹ̀du TV ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá mọ̀ tẹ máa wọ́n rẹ o Gbẹ̀du TV nìyẹn tẹ bá wá gbọ́ òtíṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ wá rí Kóìkì mo mọ̀ pé kò sẹ́ni tó máa lóhùn o ó nìyẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀ bá wà kíwọ́ sí wọn Kóìkì a tún ní àlejò náà láti Island Madam Ṣọlá kò gbọdọ̀ kú àwọn dà àwọn ti wá wọn lọ pẹ́ẹ̀sì sẹ́yìn lọ́rùn ni àwọn míì náà tún tẹ̀lé bàbá wa wá láti London lọ́dọ̀ bàbá Charlie lọ́nà àwọn náà ti wá o ẹ má bínú mi mo orúkọ yìí ẹ̀yin wọlé wá láti London ẹ náwó yín sókè o ẹ̀yin ti London wọn tó ń ti wá ẹ̀rí tó ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ báyìí ẹ náwó ẹ̀yin tó wá láti London ẹ ṣé máa ẹ bá wa kí àwọn èèyàn wa ẹ ṣé ẹ bá wa kí wọn o ẹ kú ìfẹ́ o ẹ ṣé gan ni. ẹ wo èrò pọ̀ èrò Kóìkì ẹ má bọ̀ mà ẹ wá jókòó báyìí alájà ẹ má bọ̀ ẹ má bọ̀ ẹ má bọ̀ ẹ dìde máma o ó
God bless you, ma.
Ẹ ṣe mọ́ mi ogun olórí. Ẹnà mi ti mọ́ mi wá ẹ̀. Ìgbà tí mo wà nù pírísì yẹn, mọ̀mọ́ wá mi wá. Mo wá sọ fún àwọn ọlọ́pàá mọ́ ní ẹ̀yìn ọlọ́pàá. Mọ́ mi gẹ́gẹ́ tó yí àbúrò ìyá mi, ẹ̀gbọ́n tàbúrò, ó fẹ́ wá kí mi. Mọ̀mọ́ wá dé. Nígbà tí mọ̀mọ́ ó dé, mọ̀mọ́ fún mi ní £500. Àwọn ọlọ́pàá ìyá rẹ̀ ló lọ gan. Mọ̀mọ́ wá ní wọ́n sunkún mọ́ ní wọ́n sunkún. Ní wọ́n sunkún. Wọ́n á ha o fún àwọn ọlọ́pàá bí bá ń tọ́jú ẹ ọmọ kan tí mo bí náà ní ẹ̀sán ní ọlọ́pàá ní kan fọkàn balẹ̀. Ó ti lo oṣù mẹ́fà mi. Pẹ̀lú ògùn Ọlọ́run kò lè lo tó oṣù mẹ́fà mọ́. Mọ̀mọ́ wá ṣàdúrà. Wọ́n ní wíwá àwọn wá yìí nígbà táwọn bá máa padà wá bá mi nínú ilé ọ̀dọ̀ mi ni màá wà. Ọ̀sán ẹni bí pé nígbà tí mo máa padà wá lẹ́yìn oṣù méjì wọ́n ti fi mí lẹ̀ báyìí. Wọ́n á fi mí lẹ̀ wọ́n kàn dédé ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì wọ́n làwọn bọ̀ àwọn tí ń bọ̀ wá bá mi wọ́n ti dé. Ìlà àwọn ọmọ arúgbó kan tí mi mú wọ́n kàn dáwọ́ jọ wọ́n gbé lọ fún Sunday wọ́n ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì mọ̀ bá dé. Ìyá kìnnìkanì fún ọ ní £100, ìyá ilé ní £50 ni o, wọ́n bá mi kọ́ lẹ̀ o, kọ́lọ̀ jẹ́ ká mi wọ́n kú.
Àmín.
Kọ́lọ̀ jẹ́ mi wọ́n kú. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mọ́ mi mi lórí eré gbàgbé àwọn ìyá ìlà gbogbo ẹ̀yà tẹ̀ bó ti mi ọlọ́run tó ta wọn. Torí gbígbà mi ti máa rántí ní ọ̀rọ̀ mi máa ń pọ̀ lórí àwọn ìyá àgbà wọn bàbá mi wọ̀nyí. Ọlọ́run kọ́ mo sí ara fún mi gan. Àti bá dìde lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yóò gbà ọ̀hún tá a bá ṣe náà lágbà bàbá mi ò ní à ń kí à ń sà ẹlẹ́mẹ̀ ní okú alábìsùn gbọ́rọ̀gbọ́rọ̀ lóko àgbàdo kọ̀rọ̀kọ̀rọ̀ lórí èdè wọ́n á béèrè pé sọ́jà lóko ní àbàdé ọlọ́jà mi ló kọ́
àìrópọ̀ fún yàrá wà nígbà yìí o màmá kó ìkíbíjì àgọ́gàn nìyẹn o ẹ mọ̀ pé bó wá jẹ́ lánàá mo rán iṣẹ́ kí ló kàn ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣé tí ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n dúró gbọ́n yìí wọ́n dúró gbọ́n yìí kẹ́ẹ̀kan máa fi discourage wọ́n tún support ní ẹ̀rí wọn bá ní gbogbo ra ni wọ́n máa gbọ́n gbogbo ẹ̀ sókè Dr. Sabi wà ń bí kún yàrá wà ń bí gbogbo wọn wà ẹsẹ̀ pé láti London àkọlé máa dárúkọ tán èrò pọ̀ àwọn ará Bradford aago 2 náà ti dé wọ́n dẹ̀ sì ń travel lọ sí Bradford but nǹkan tí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n fẹ́ ṣe dájú wa ṣàṣẹ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sà ẹ jẹ́ kán ṣe torí ìyẹn gbọ̀ngàn ó important wọ́n máa ṣó ẹ̀ fún wa lórí screen tó bá ti ṣe tán ara abúlé ní Bradford group a máa launch yín ẹ̀dẹ̀ máa lọ ẹ ṣe
Okay, so
okay, on va se
I think
no, Ebi
Share screen head.
Are you
Share screen head.
Are you sure? Then I think the word. No.
What I get
Okay.
back?
No problem. Mo sọ sí àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Okay, ibẹ̀ ni sorry.
Yeah.
because nítorí pé mo ti kọ́ sílẹ̀ lórí so the case for Yoruba sovereign nation and also nítorí àkókò wa ti lọ so mi ò ní go through everything one of the key ones is the blast at Ibadan so please if because I just want to concentrate on a few because of the time. So the case for Yoruba sovereign nation, this was the content I started with, but because of time, I'm going to cut down some of them. So the first point is that Nigeria. 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 Political party. Just at that time was the main avenue or the main headquarters for Action Group at the time. Anyway, so there is continuous use of thugs and Boko Haram. Boko Haram being the primary one, at least it was the first in a way to be created. And they had a mission that number one, they wanted to purify Islam, and that purification will involve annihilating the Shia Islam. So that's what we've been battling with for the past 15 years or so. Aware of the potential into Nigeria. Asking Hausa, hey, who are these? Where are they coming from? Where are they going? You know that the answers are beginning to wake up to claim their ancestral heritage. Because they are going to school. Tell them that look, this other school and just use this land and thereby deprive them of any ambition. Deprive them. No ambition to go into the military whatsoever. People like this who are channeled in that way. But then they then use their votes for elections. Sorry, I'm just rushing through. But there are a few that I will concentrate on the way. Yes, this one is a bit important. Because I said, Dangote is sponsoring terrorism with impunity. It has been reported that his aim is to get the terrorists to capture Lagos. I mean, I saw a photograph 2 years ago where some of the Yoruba elites were in a party and they were sitting down together with Dangote, and my mind, I was saying, you know who you are sitting down with? Right. The so-called Buhari speech on 10th December 2018 was a blatant invitation to planning terrorists to pour into Nigeria. The House and Senate did nothing then, and of course, they left without anything being done. The 6-week ultimatum issued that they gave the presidency on insecurity, it was a waste of time. It's just so that nobody will say they didn't say anything or do anything about it. The anti-other nationality movement, we know they tried to kill Governor Otom. And Otom said, what was his fault? His fault was passing the no open grazing law. Because of that, they tried to assassinate him because it was, and then he was telling him that look, that area is very good for me to take it. That is the area now in Plateau State, we have a lot of terrorism going on. And when I say terrorism, they are killing people in their houses. They are burning people in their houses. This, unfortunately, has been going on in Plateau for 20 years now. But just that now, when Buhari became president, that really reached a very high percentage. And now, I'm sure some of you might have seen these statements that the Fulani nationality movement made. Now, the significant one that I'm going to, because as I said, because of the time, the significant one that I'm going to call attention to is this 4-1. We want the Nigerian government not to make the mistake of arresting any Fulani leader or person again. We are watching the actions of the government in relation to the explosion in Ibadan. I'm going to come back to that later. So, it's just that one point that I want to take out from this, their statement. Rise in terrorism, well, we are all witnesses to what has been happening. I mean, if anybody says this kind of thing will happen in the 1970s, I mean, it will look to be like, what are you talking about? You know, it's as if we are living in a totally different world. Right? But anyhow, now, this is an important one which I hope will remember that the retired Naval Commodore Oloye in August 2021 gave an interview, a very useful interview on China's TV. Both him and the two gentlemen that conducted the interview, they were brave to conduct that interview because he exposed what is going on. And one of the key things he said is that they are trying to turn Nigeria into a Taliban type of country, which means that it's only those who have the guns that will rule, which is exactly what is happening in Nigeria now. And that's why people are being killed even inside their own houses without any fight back. There's no other country in the world that happens. Now, the National Intelligence Agency, National Intelligence Agency, they try to silence him, but thank God for those like him who are prepared to say the truth, despite dangers they may face. Why must we continue to be trapped in such a country? He mentioned, he said to them that he can't come and be naming the names, but that they know the names. The guy said that standing governors, standing senators, and officials in the presidency who are sponsoring terrorism. That situation has not changed. Maybe one or two governors have retired or moved to the Senate. The situation is still more or less the same. The governor of the state, has himself named one of the members of the state assembly who is sponsoring terrorism in the state. Of course, we know some of the terrible things that have happened. There were Samuel killed in cold blood in Sokoto, David Umar in Lagos, in Lekki, right? Oh, okay, this number 3 is a bit of an eye-opener. My bearded elder brother, we were all born in the Plateau State. So he lives in Igboho, which was 9 miles south of Jos. So he went to Igboho, our own town, about 2018. He met a Yoruba man who told him that he met a Fulani man living in the Igboho area. And the Fulani man told him that they have empowered them all with AK-47, brand new. To confirm, he went inside his house into his room and brought it out to show the Yoruba man. And then he said they have also trained them on how to use them. But he said to his fellow Fulanis that is this thing they are doing wise? If the people amongst whom they are living to rise up against them, where are they going to run to? the reality on ground. And that is why they are having such a field day in Yoruba land. Because they know our people are not armed. In the Middle Belt, in fact, they send security forces to go house to house, to go and confiscate anything that people have, whether it's cutlass, guns, bows and arrows. And then weeks after, you have the terrorists coming with AK-47 and they just maul all of them. So they have an agenda to take over Nigeria. Now, what some of our young people don't know is that the Fulanis, they are not Nigerians. We need to emphasize they are not Nigerians. And that is why the settler and concept must not be overturned. Like in Plateau State, the people in Plateau State are really under fire because they want to drag them out. In fact, they want the Fulani nationality statement. They said any non-indigenous of Plateau State to move out. Went to Manchester 30th of April this year. And I posed a question to him. How will Plateau State regain back its land? Of course, because I was born there, I grew up there, and it makes me sad to see how the towns have been divided. Because, for example, the Yoruba people, largely Ogbomoso people, in fact, the Hausa strategy, which my brother told me about 15 years ago, is to burn down the Yoruba houses with the expectation that they will not be financially well-to-do to rebuild them. And that strategy has worked. If you go into Google, you can see it. You see a lot of houses that have been burnt down. You see the carcass remaining. And in fact, what has then happened is that those houses cannot be sold. About 12 years ago, when my brother sold his own house and told me how much he sold, I said, that's too small. He said, they thank God that they could sell there, that there are so many Yoruba people that have not been able to sell there. That is Nigeria we have. Yes. So I'm going now to go straight to this Ibadan explosion. Okay. So Ibadan explosion, 4 remands, woman and 2 men. So that's a photograph of the site. That's another photograph of the site. And the court said that they stored explosives and weapons of mass destruction, as well as radioactive materials. And what jumps up in my mind is that how did they get those radioactive materials? It's not something you can go to the market to buy. You can't even order it. But the Fulani nationality statement, the one I read earlier, has given an insight that this must be the Fulani nationality movement that have done that, bought the explosives, because to buy, like in the UK, for the universities to buy such materials for their research, there are strict protocols they have to follow. But these are not materials you can just buy order online or send to. No. It has to be people who are registered by the government to do that. Anyhow, so when I started trying to find out what had happened, I phoned several people at home. I was shocked that many of them didn't even know about it. They didn't know about even the court judgment and the radioactive materials they've used. What is the impact on that area of Old Bodija? I mean, to buy explosives and store it in an expensive house. I mean, Bodija is to Ibadan. What is the name in Lagos? Ikoyi, yeah, Ikoyi is the one I'm looking for. It's not like Ikoyi is to Lagos. So for somebody to buy explosives and to go and put them in the air. In fact, my sister who lives in Ibadan told me that the people who live around the area say that nobody lives here. That occasionally one person comes on a motorbike, goes for a few hours and leaves. So that is an agenda. Now, we need to connect this to what retired Commodore Olawumi said, that for them to achieve this Taliban agenda for Nigeria, that 10% casualty, that means 22 million people killed. Or 30% casualty, that means 44 million people killed. means nothing to them. Of course, it means nothing to them because they are not Nigerians. It's our own people that they killed. And honestly, when this didn't happen, and I was coming home, I was really, really very upset that the news like this should have been on the TV, should be in the papers. You know, it should be something that people, in fact, it should be people to demonstrate on the streets. Because they want to wipe out an entire area. And it's part of their agenda. But we just thank God that God restrained them. Now, because of that, I'll go to the final part. Oh, well, okay, maybe just this graph. I'll just show this graph quickly and go to the final part. And the graph here is just over the last 2 years, how the currency has dramatically changed. So you can see that in the past 2 years, our currency has been devalued by 4.60, which is really a big number. And that is why now many more people have been plunged into poverty. It is sad. And now, this is a statement taken from this video. In 2019, the video was made. So this is Tinubu speaking. If we reduce the purchasing power of the people, we can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax rate. Those who are not paying now, I know this statement was made 5 years ago. I only talked about it about 10 years ago. When I saw this, I said, oh, is this the agenda? Is this why now millions of people just in 15 months have been plunged into poverty? It is alarming. And what makes me further unhappy is that are they trying to create the situation that happened in the Soviet Union in the 1980s, where the economy was run totally to ground, and then they started selling their national assets quickly. That is where the oligarchs in Russia, that is where they got their money from. Because they bought the assets cheaply and then sold them at exorbitant prices. Okay, yeah. Okay, I mentioned this earlier. Comparing ourselves with India, because we are both colonies of the UK. But unfortunately, India has been to places. India virtually makes everything it needs, including making their spacecraft to go into space. But for us, even the palm oil that we have, we cannot produce enough. We are importing. Anyway, time will not permit to go into that. Again, this is an intelligence report from a northern Christian sympathizer. Because this Fulani agenda is targeting the Middle Belt and the South. Okay, because of time, we will not be able to go through, but we will see the consequences. In fact, they've achieved most of this, their 9-point agenda. I need to go to the very last point on this. The effects of faulty foundation. I don't know how many, maybe many people have seen the former colonial office staff, Harold Smith, who has confessed that they deliberately manipulated the census figures to hand over power to Fulanis, which is what we have been suffering all these years. But the point number 5, no, not number 5, I mean number 8. Okay, so I said, solution for Yoruba and all ethnic nationalities. Back it to your tent, O Israel. Many will remember that this was what happened after Solomon died. King Solomon died in Israel, and his son Rehoboam, who took over, the people came to him to ask him, please reduce the body, reduce the tax body, then we'll serve you as we serve your father. But he refused. Instead, he said, I will make the situation worse. So therefore, they said, if your tent, O Israel. And the nation of Israel was divided into 2. Abraham said to Lot, we are brothers, we should not be fighting. You take the hill, I will take the valley. Or you take the valley, I will take the hill. And then they separated. How much? And they were the same people, Hebrew. Both Abraham and Lot were Hebrews. But they had to separate. Because there was no point in fighting. How much more of a nation, Nigeria, where they are forced so many diverse people together, and unfortunately, what we are seeing is constant warfare amongst our people. Well, because of the time, I'll just go to the very last point. This is the last point. Point 8. How shall we achieve formation of the Yoruba sovereign nation? I said, one, I believe in the advocacy efforts of our leaders in the Yoruba nation movement. Professor Banji Akintoye and Chief Sunday Igboho. We need to support them in their efforts. Their efforts and labor will not be in vain. Then number 2, by enlightening our people, we need to tell them about the necessity of getting out of a forced union that has become a union of penury, disease, violence, and death. Number 3, by getting involved in the campaign for self-determination. This will require coordination with the leaders of the movement and with other groups. And then finally, number 4, by faith in and prayers to God. We need to exercise faith in God. We need to ask God for forgiveness for the rebellion of our ancestors at Babel, for sending our people into slavery in the transatlantic slave trade, and so on. We should individually in our families and collectively call on God to forgive us and deliver us from this bondage. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.